Well, hi there. It is just gone 11 o'clock and time to show up. I'm showing up. I'm glad you showed up. I appreciate every single one of you. Do a little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit, and let's shit in the box. I have watched a couple of very long discussions about the design of Starfield in the past couple days. Like upwards of an hour. And what they had in common was the person who made them was a fucking idiot. Because they kept complaining that the game didn't have something that they wanted it to have. As though it were some kind of oversight or failure, that the game didn't have a thing they wanted it to have. Games cannot have everything. Software has no features by default. Every feature a piece of software has, somebody has to write it. And typically, when a feature hasn't been written, it's either because other features were more important or because they actively didn't want that feature in the game. One of the things that frustrates me about Starfield is that there are only 4 NPCs you can marry. I wish there were more. There's like one in particular that I wish was an option. But they're not. Neither are all of the other options. And the lack of that, while I would like it, while I would prefer a game like Skyrim, I really enjoyed how in Skyrim you had this vast array of people to choose from. Unless you wanted particular races and genders. Like, there's exactly one high elf female, that you can marry. One. And it's the sister of that bitch at Radiant Raiment. That's it. If you want to marry a high elf, and you don't want, I don't even know if there is a high elf male you can marry. But if you want to marry a female high elf, that's it. That one person. That's it. I'm into Naranye, the chick who runs like the little, well, she's the fence for the Thieves Guild in Windhelm. Not at first, but after you complete enough Thieves Guild assignments in Windhelm, then she's the fence, which of course means she's not available as a potential partner or love interest or wife. And that's fine. I wish she was. There are a couple of console commands you can use to make her available for that. And if you use them, you discover she continues to yell for attention at her stall in her sleep. She'll be asleep in bed and yelling about cookware, knives, items for the home. If you can't marry her, you'll never notice that. She only ever sleeps for like 2 or 3 hours. She's at the corner club until 4 a.m. every night. And then she goes home, she sleeps for a couple hours, and she gets up and she goes to her stall. Naranye is a party girl. That is my kind of woman. That's what I'm looking for. Not an option. It's okay that she's not an option. I mean, I may wish otherwise, but it's okay. And they didn't forget They didn't forget to make her an option. She just isn't one. There are a bunch of other options that have issues. Like what's her name? Weary at Markarth, the chick who's hanging around at Boella's, the Hag's Cure, and she eventually offers you a quest for the Dark Brotherhood. And if you complete her quest for the Dark Brotherhood, then she becomes available for you to marry. And she will never have a meaningful conversation with you. She will only ever tell you how much she appreciates that you did her quest for the Dark Brotherhood. She's kind of broken. Minor issue, probably fixable. I don't really use like the unofficial patches or anything like that. But the number of people that lose their damn mind pissing and moaning because they wanted something and they can't have it. It's like they just can't stand being told no. I mean, I'm very frustrated that I can't have any kind of relationship with Huang Le. None whatsoever. She's the homeless panhandler in the underbelly of Neon. That's it. She'll never be anything else. You can never help her. You can never do anything for her. I have millions of credits. I could buy her the Astro Lounge penthouse and just like set her up in it. You can't do that. There are no options for that. And I feel like Starfield in particular is doing that on purpose. And you can't do that in Skyrim either. I mean, it's like you go and there's the what's her name? There's the pickpocket trainer in Windhelm, the beggar. There's the old man who's begging in Whiterun. You can't do anything to help him. There's all kinds of people that you can do absolutely nothing to help. But hey, there's that Imperial chick. There's this chick that when you go to Solitude, who teases you and says, "Oh, are you going to be my knight in shining armor? Are you going to pick me up and take me away?" Why not? Here, let me put on this Amulet of Mara, and oh, there's nothing I can do to raise your affinity to the point that you'll be interested. Well, gee, I guess no. I guess no, I won't. Although that chick is hot. She's got this exotic look to her. Anyway. There are all kinds of people throughout Bethesda games that you can do absolutely nothing about. You have such limited options with NPCs in the Elder Scrolls and Fallout and Starfield universes in general that it's just like that's the way of things. But I feel like Starfield restricts it even further. So many people don't have names, they're just citizen. That's it. And they don't actually go anywhere. If you follow the NPCs in New Atlantis and they go through a door, then when you go through a door, they're not there. They've disappeared. If you park yourself outside of the Jemison Mercantile establishment, Amoli never leaves. Ever. She doesn't eat, she doesn't sleep, she doesn't go to the bathroom, she has no schedule, she doesn't live anywhere. She just exists there behind the counter at Jemison Mercantile 24 hours a day. And there are schedules for NPCs in Starfield. There are occasional NPCs that have them. Infinity LTD in particular has schedules. There's the guy sitting behind the computer you're supposed to hack, and you're supposed to wait until he leaves for lunch or until he's done with work for the day. The other people in Infinity LTD, there are a couple of people there who leave work and go to the bar. They go to the, oh, what do they call it? The Broken Spear or whatever the fuck. And they have schedules. There are people with schedules in Starfield, but most of them don't have any. And it's not that they can't do it or that they forgot how to do it. I mean, all of their games have schedules for NPCs. This was a deliberate choice. They deliberately chose not to give any of the NPCs schedules. Why? Why would you do that? And I understand that somebody might not know the answer to that. They might go, ugh, well, they're stupid and they suck, and that's why they didn't do it. I don't think that's true. I think they did this on purpose. But nobody ever seems to think that. Nobody ever seems to consider there are no mistakes in a game. Well, no mistakes that big in a game that has taken years to build. They didn't forget to give people schedules. They didn't forget to give people names. They didn't forget to give people houses. They didn't do it on purpose. Why? And you've got this dichotomy because on the one hand, you've got things they didn't do because of what games are like. And by way of example, children. There are next to no children in Starfield. Why? Maybe we're making some kind of in-universe statement about a lack of fertility, but I don't think so, because you walk through New Atlantis and you hear people talk about their kids. You hear lots of people talk about their kids. So I lean in the direction of it's because the ESRB gets a bug up their arse every time you let children get killed in a game. Like, you immediately, it jumps up to an M rating. If you allow children in the game, then you have to deal with the question of you can't shoot the children in the head. That doesn't make sense. You should be able to shoot the children in the head. Well, yeah, but if you could shoot the children in the head, then the game would be rated AO. It would be rated adults only, and then people would get mad. People would get mad if you could shoot the children in the head, and if people were mad that you could shoot the children in the head, there would be a big PR mess and a big campaign against the game, and nobody wants that. I think that's why there are next to no children in the game. I do think the children in the game are absolutely fantastic. They're very well done. I particularly like Annie Wilcox and her friend Emily in Aquila City. I love the way Emily just proudly announces, I'm an assistant ranger surveillance assistant. That's so fucking adorable. I think it's the cutest thing ever. Just the exact way she does it, it's so fucking perfect. I'm like, yes, that is a 10-year-old girl right there. That's what 10-year-old girls are like. And I just run across all of these people that are just like, Bethesda fucked up because they didn't do this. They didn't fuck up. They did that on purpose. Well, they shouldn't have done it. Why? Why should they have done it? Give me one good reason why they should have done it. Well, because it doesn't make sense if they don't. None of this makes sense. Have you not noticed that like 90% of Starfield makes no fucking sense? I'm talking about this a lot. How many times? I think it was just a couple days ago. I was talking about Moonbridge Pharmaceuticals. I think it was just a couple of days ago. I was talking about Emily in Aquila City. And it's endemic. It's all over the place. I saw somebody else I saw somebody saying, "Oh, it's Bethesda's worst nightmare. We're starting to see the rise of the Skyrim killer." The rise of the what now? Because, like, from my perspective, the first Skyrim killer would have been Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, which came out just a few months after Skyrim, and it was much better in several respects. But everybody preferred Skyrim for some reason. And I'll grant you, I haven't put the thousands of hours into Kingdoms of Amalur that I have put into Skyrim. But I have put like 1,000 hours into it. I've got the Xbox 360 game case for it somewhere around here. Because I originally got it on the 360. I was just like, this looks cool. And it was okay. I didn't really think too much of it when I had Skyrim available, and I wasn't sick of Skyrim yet. And then I got sick of Skyrim and went, oh yeah, I got this Kingdoms of Amalur thing. And I played Kingdoms of Amalur, and I was like, this is fucking great! Then I got it on PC. I've played like 200 hours of it on PC. I don't know how much Skyrim have I played on PC. Let me check real quick. Well, I've played like 2,000 hours of Skyrim on PC, and indeed about 160 hours of 158.3 hours of Kingdoms of Amalur. 8.5 on 8.5 on the original release, and then 149.8 on the Re-Reckoning re-release, the remaster. A lot of people complain about that. I had problems with the original on PC, and then I didn't have any of those problems with the re-release. Occasionally I see people go, yeah, but it's like during the big battle, you can tell that the armies are just like 2D sprites wiggling around out there. Yeah, that I could tell that's what they were in the original game too. Well, yeah, but it wasn't as easy to see. Yeah, it was. I mean, if you understood what you were looking at, is people complain about dumb shit. I don't know. As a game developer and designer, I forgive a lot of game design and development choices because I can tell why they were made. I can tell that, like, somebody would have had to work on this feature for a couple of weeks. Maybe we didn't have a couple of weeks. Maybe the number of people that we had to work on features included 2 people that could work on a feature this complex, and they had more complex features they needed to work on. That's always a problem with project management. You have 5 features to build, and you have 6 people available for building features. But only 2 of those people are sufficiently skilled to build 3 of the features. So you gotta have 4 of your people working on 2 of your features. And the other 2 people either have to work on all 3 features or they have to work on just 1 each. And that's like, you end up having a feature get cut. And technically you've got 2 people available to work on. It's just, they can't build that feature. They don't have the skills and experience you need to build that feature. And you run into shit like that all the time. Where it's just like, I've got the people, but the people don't have the skills, so I can't map them to the features that we need to build. And those people are just sitting there being paid, and they're not getting anything done. Sometimes you can give one of those people a feature that they cannot possibly build, just so they can build a fucked up, broken version of it that you can turn around and give to somebody more competent later. Sometimes you ship a game with a bug because the guy who can build the feature will be available to fix the bug after release, but he's not going to be available to develop the feature. Decisions like that have to get made. People don't like making decisions like that. They go, why don't you just push the release date? You especially can't do that with console releases, which frequently need a 6-month lead time before your release date. Once you've committed to a release date and you pass that 6-month mark, you're not moving any of your milestones. You got to deliver by the date. Sometimes that's hard to communicate to people that are used to working in a PC environment. And they're like, we got 4 more months to do this. No, we got to deliver this next, whatever you've got done next week, that's what we ship. But we have like 4 more months. It's going to spend 2 months in certification and then 2 more months in QA. So no, we don't have 4 months to work on the feature. The feature has to be locked. It has to be frozen. It is what it is. I wish people cared more about their jobs. I wish they cared more about what they did. I wish they wanted to be good at it. I wish people recognized that the only reason they get paid is because they do their fucking job. And if they stop doing their fucking job, they're going to stop getting paid. But we get people that get annoyed. They go, nah, I get laid off because the company doesn't have a project that I fit into. If the company doesn't have a product you fit into, you have a problem. The company doesn't have a problem, you have a problem. They're hiring. Clearly, they have positions for people to fill. You need to be looking for one of those positions you can fill. People don't do that. I do wish people cared about what they did. I wish they wanted to do a good job. There are way too many people that all they ever do is try to get their paycheck as long as they can before somebody figures out they're not doing any fucking work. Everything's just so fundamentally broken right now. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to do a good job. Nobody actually gives a shit. I mean, I'm not doing a lot of work on my game, and the reason I'm not doing a lot of work on my game is because I'm being childish and petulant and stupid and throwing a little mental tantrum about not wanting to do it. But I admit that's what I'm doing, and I understand that this is bad and it's not going to get the work done. I will at some point get the work done. It does need to be done, you know. It's not that difficult. Once I buckle in and do it, once I go, okay, fine, fuck it, I'll do the work. It'll take like 2 or 3 days and it'll be done, and then I can move on, and then I can do fun stuff. But you got to get past the mental blockage for some reason. I wish people at least wanted to do the thing they were getting paid to do. I wish they understood that being paid for it obligates them to try and do a good job. I wish people understood that when you buy something, you're buying the thing that it is, not the thing that you wish it was or that you think it could be in the future. You're just buying the thing that it is. I feel like nobody understands anything. I feel like nobody knows why they have a job or what their job really is or how that job ever results in the company they work for getting any money. I feel like everybody just imagines there's a giant machine that manufactures money and everybody gets some of the money. That machine is you. That machine is you doing your fucking job. That's what manufactures the money. You put enough people doing their job together and they produce a result, and the result can be sold for money. And there's a marketing and sales arm that does the work of turning the thing you made into some money, and then the money gets apportioned to all of the people that did the work. And if you don't know how your work turns into a product, and you don't know how the product turns into money, and you don't know how much money there is, how can you possibly expect to know what your share of it is? You can blame participation trophies, but it's not the people who got the participation trophies who are responsible for that result. It's the people who decided to give out participation trophies that are responsible for that result. Nobody wants to take responsibility for fucking up the generation after theirs. But we all do to some degree. And then that generation has to go back and try to fix what we fucked up. And in trying to fix what we fucked up, and they fuck something else up. It's just this endless chain. But it is what it is. I don't really have a point here. I'm just annoyed that so many people are simply unwilling to accept anything for what it is. They don't know or care what it is, and all they do is just like make up, well, this is what it should have been, and it's not that. You can tell this is what it should have been because that's what I would have liked. Fucking generation narcissist. It's not fair to call it generation because it's all the generations. There's people that I'm seeing people my age that are complaining about shit, and they're going, this isn't what I wish it was. Well, no shit. It's not what you wish it was. It's what the people who made it wish it was. That's what that's for. That's what making shit is for. So you can make things that are what you wish they were. And when the rest of the world goes, that's not what I wish it was, fuck you. It's my shit. You want what you wish it was, make your own shit. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And, okay, bye.